So far, every time I've done some sort of penetration test, the Logan always seems to do well. I'm not saying it's the best pellet, but it always seems to do quite well in these penetrations. Again, I've used a target just to get a rough idea of the grouping, where to aim, because of the rifle I've got set up isn't quite right for all these different pellets. And the super hollow point, the worst group out of two shots. One was smack on the target, one was quite some distance away, and they was all aiming high so far this time round. As I pulled the pellets out of the phone book that I used as a backing for this target, this was the second one to be recovered. The Bisley Pest Control, that seemed to be a little tighter with the group there and a bit high, and this one was the first one to be recovered out of the phone book, and it was shot at 12 yards, as indeed was the target that I'm going to use for the penetration test. The Crossman hollow points, that was the third one to be recovered out of the yellow pages, and the group was a little bit tighter there, and as you see, like all the others, a little bit high. The BSA, that was about the same as the Crossman, and the Killer, that was way up there, well off, but the group size between the two pellets didn't look too bad at all. The Destroyer, that was quite high, but starting to look a little bit better there. The Bisley Super Mag, that was touching virtually, and the low gun, it just about touched on the edges. So out of all these, the RWS hollows, the super hollow point, that gave their worst group again, so I'm not very pleased with these. If you start to look at targets and you have got them aiming on the dot or the rabbit's head or anything else that you might be aiming at, the groups aren't quite so bad, and considering how small that dot is, some of the groups would be okay. But with the super hollow point, although it was the only one that actually hit the target, in real terms you've got less chance of hitting where you're aiming at. And with the target that I used, the super hollow point merely made a dent. The Bisley Pest Control, that merely made a dent. The Crossman went in about a fingernail depth. The BSA went in about a fingernail depth. The Killer made quite a wide crater compared, and it was about 3/4 of a fingernail depth. The Destroyer actually penetrated quite well. So did the Bismag, but it also created a wide area on the surface, a wide crater. And the Logan penetrators, they penetrated quite well as well. So let's see what the targets was like, and you can see what I was aiming at. Out of the three that did penetrate the ice, the Destroyer, then the Bismag, then the Logan, as you saw in the ice, the Logan retained its shape, and I'm just wondering if you could reuse this again and again and again. What's an expensive pellet to start with just might work out the cheapest if you can keep on reusing them.